JD talking sports. You know, I just got a picture Michigan just showed me of Giancarlo Stanton. He is leaner this year, and he wants to put last year, change the narrative. Change the narrative. That's what he said. Change the narrative. Yeah, dude, you keep changing that narrative. And he's leaner. Dude, you what, you hit 191 last year? I mean, let's be honest. Come on, dude. I mean, not good. Oh, Tommy has joined us. All right, let's see if he's here. All right, hold on, Rob. This always happens. Pisses me off to no end. All right, let me see. Hello. What's going on, Spiky? Hello? You froze. Are you back? He's here.
Hello.
All
yes,
right.
hello.
All right, so Rob today couldn't explain through text message this elaborate plan he has to make the Giants great again. So, Rob, the floor is yours.
I didn't. Josh says he can't hear me. Can you hear me now, Josh?
Yes, he can hear you.
I don't. So, but you can hear me, right, JD? Okay. So I didn't say make him great again. So let me start out. You're probably gonna jump on me right away, but I think there's a way you could convince KC that Daniel Jones is a better fit than Patrick Mahomes would be for what they want to do. No, just kidding. I'm kidding.
You know what though? You know what though? Rob, Josh sent me an IG video, and at the beginning of the game, I guess Trent Williams got called for a holding, and throughout the game, KC got away with holding on every goddamn play against Mahomes, which, you know, that's what they talked about.
I'm sure if you flip it around, did they compare? Actually, I saw something. I wish I'd saved it, a stat showing the Kansas City Chiefs in games are called for penalties a lot more than their opponents are. That's actually a pretty, from what I understand. I'll try to find it again, but I think it's like a fallacy. Because what you'll see a lot like with that is they'll show the penalties that Kansas City did, but did they then compare that in the same video side by side of San Francisco?
Mm-hmm. Oh, no.
Guessing is you could probably see it too on the other side.
So what they show is basically in the first play, Williams held, and Shanahan goes, hey, they're doing the same thing, and then they showed like at least 3 or 4 instances where you could see Bosa and I think Hargraves, I think, were like being tackled. Like literally like by the neck, pulled down, and they didn't call anything. And he said, hey, call it both ways, and they didn't call both ways. I mean, that's was the big thing against the Jet game where there was definitely holding on that big running play where he got that big first down.
Yeah, that was. Yep.
Listen, yeah.
So you want to know my idea, and I'm not saying...
The floor is yours, as always.
Okay, this is predicated on the Giants not taking a quarterback high because the top ones go, right? Okay. And I'm not saying this is the answer. This is a little bit of an outside-the-box thing that they could do for a year to see, you know. So Daboll's supposed to be really good with working with young quarterbacks, right? That's what he's supposed to do. So with that premise, and with the premise the Giants aren't going to take a quarterback high, I wonder what the draft compensation would be for. We got to see with the thing coming up for Justin Fields. And here's why I say that. If you bring him in on the 1-year basis and you give the competition to him and Daniel Jones, because I don't see any way Daniel Jones stays healthy for the year. If Daboll is good at working with young quarterbacks and can get Fields to be able to throw the ball well, because we saw Josh Allen was great with that, it gives you an option for a year to see where they are. Okay. They could take a quarterback in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round and put him as a third quarterback, which would give them time to develop him and not have him forced into starting when Daniel Jones does inevitably get hurt. And if it allows a competition between Jones and Fields in the preseason, which I think would be good for both of them, and whichever one wins, you let him start. And if Fields stinks, okay, you have him for the year. Jones could step in. If Jones stinks, Fields could step in. If neither of them are good, all right. But if the competition brings out good in one, if Fields working with Daboll has him be able to learn to throw the ball, now you have somebody that, you know, you can harness his talent, because everyone said Fields had a talent coming out. It gives you the opportunity then to – it's only 1 year for Fields. As long as you're not giving up too much, I don't see that as a bad situation for the Giants.
But this is what I'm asking you. When is the trade happening? Mm-hmm. When is the trade happening?
Probably they're talking this at the what's it called? This next coming this week they're doing what do they call the combine starts this week, right?
Right.
Is it next week or something like that?
Yeah, combine.
Yeah, that's when they said that's when that stuff starts to really get discussed.
Okay, so they'll have time with him before. What I'm okay with it. I'm just wondering how much time are they going to actually have with him in the system before training camp? Because I was thinking if we get him, you get him now, then you have March, April, May. Yeah, I mean, right, and but how much are you giving up to get?
It's 1 year. That's the thing. That's why I said I wouldn't give up anything more than a third. Like, let's say maybe a third this year and a fifth next year. Let's say if there's someone who's willing to give up a 2, that's too much. I'm not giving up a 2 for him. But if you give up a third and maybe a fifth next year, willing to bring him in there and see what you can do, and then maybe you can re-sign Barkley. Let's say let him test free agency. If he comes back, it gives you something else, and then. It's 1 year. Once again, it's 1 year. That's if the Giants can't get somebody, because then if everyone stinks, you draft someone next year. If Daniel Jones comes out, has a great year, and you think he's worth re-signing because he has throws for 33 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, or if Fields comes out and plays well and has a 28 touchdowns and 12 interception year, and he stays healthy and runs the way he does, great. And you could then also draft stuff around them. You can, either take a tackle first or a receiver first, and then they have 2 second rounders, either move up and get somebody with those 2s or take in the second, an offensive lineman receiver. It's an outside the box solution if they're not willing to take a quarterback this year high. Because what I don't want to see is, go ahead.
Do you think Dable can fix him that quick?
I don't know. That's kind of like they also obviously, I'm not a quarterback expert. They would have to talk to Daboll and say, hey, what you see on film, because they can get all the 22 film of him in every game. Look at his footwork in his footwork, or is his mechanics in throwing. Is it a mechanics issue, or is it he doesn't read defenses? Like, what is his issue, and is that something you think you can fix? If he says, no, man, this guy is going to need 2, 3, 4 years. All right, maybe then you don't do it. Or you say, okay, if you bring him in now, can you within 2 years? So maybe they think a franchise. I don't know, but talk to him, see what he says.
I think if you watch him play Fields, I just feel like he never gets his feet right. I feel like he never has. He moves really well. He's a good running quarterback. I just don't think he gets his feet set, and that's why the ball just sails. If you watch him a lot, that's his ball. A lot of overthrows, a lot of sailing balls. I think it's something Dable. Listen. Look what he did with goddamn Allen. Allen wasn't even supposed to. Allen was fun, and he is. I mean, he does far things, but why not? And he's young and he's mobile. Yeah, and you are concerned about Jones. I'm all for it. Now, I told you about the mock draft I saw. Caleb Williams won. Then Jaden Daniels second. Then Drake May third. Marvin Harrison fourth. And the Vikings traded up fifth to get J.J. McCarthy. So the 3 guys you want are gone in the first.
And even McCarthy would be gone. Hey, James. See, James joined us. James is a big Giants fan. I wonder he would think of that.
Wait, I'm sorry.
And he's an Islanders fan.
Yeah, that's what he. Yeah. And Josh brought up a good point. Next year you have Shedeur Sanders, who I got to be honest with you, I'm not.
Me too. I wonder.
And Quinn Ewers to me is this, and I haven't seen enough of him to be like, shit, he's really the real deal. So I feel like. I'm okay with that. Rob, yeah, why not? Because I don't think you're going to get the guy. I think even if you want to draft at 6, I don't think he's going to be there. The guy you want at 6 is not going to be there at 6.
Yeah. And the other side of this too is, whoever comes out of training camp, let's say, whoever your starter would be at that point, whether it's Fields or Jones, it gives you the option then is possibly trading him, because we know at some point every team, there's a team that loses a quarterback that still wants to compete, and then maybe you can turn whichever guy doesn't take it. Maybe depending, I do like the idea of having both of them. That way if one gets hurt, but let's say someone turns around and says, we'll give you a second round pick or a late first for one of them, because it's Joe Burrow gets hurt again, he'll be out 10 weeks or something like that, or Josh Allen gets hurt and they just want someone to hold the fort, and they see Daniel Jones is that guy, and Fields is starting for you. Then you say, okay, we'll deal with Fields no matter how he is the rest of the year. We'll bring in some other guy to be the backup to let the other rookie really develop, and then let you maybe trade him for a second round pick or maybe a late first if a team is really under the gun, because you have either Fields or him is a guy who has been able to start and at least be competitive, as opposed to you see some of these teams go to the backup and it's garbage. So it gives you a guy that is also trade value possibly for later in the year. So there's that side of it.
Like the Jets.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
I heard my